from Nebraska. How you guys doing?
Awesome, great.
You guys just played a fucking killer show here at Bushwhackers in Denver, and with High Minerva and Nexon. And how was it playing in Denver for the first time?
It was awesome. The second we got here, we found a dispensary really fucking close, and we went straight to it. And those two went to some restaurant. We went to a liquor store.
Great is awesome.
Started drinking, and then band started playing.
So you guys soon.
See ya. Good night.
Nice.
Definitely worth the drive. It was an awesome time.
Also, I didn't know anything about any of the bands playing except for Execration. I had listened to them on YouTube beforehand, and to come and see bands that were like, they were tight as shit. You don't get fast bands like this in Nebraska very often. And the only ones that you ever see are touring, and these guys were
What? What?
that are
I
like
got
that.
here, I had my earbuds.
Right.
Listen to metal to the show tonight. Eyes of Minerva, dude.
Fucking A.
Didn't work?
Killed it.
Your show, man. I was like, I couldn't hear you. It was like, I said, if you got me.
How did this show come about? How did you get invited to come play here?
We've been wanting to play out of state for quite some time. We had a bunch of shows that were going to happen at the beginning of summer, but they kind of fell through. So, just through talking to some people, I got in touch with Kevin, and he plays Execration drums, and he's the one who booked it, got it taken care of. So it was really funny because we actually, even when we had the show well booked in advance, he was playing with Nightbringer in LA, and Nolan and I's other band, Rainer, played with him there. So it's like we got to meet him at that show first, then before the Denver one. So it's just kind of...
And the guitar player, too, of Execration. He's a Nightbringer.
It's just kind of a small world. It's really funny how everyone's interconnected.
Right.
So,
Have you played outside Nebraska before, or?
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Missouri, Kansas area, Kansas City, and Topeka, Lawrence.
We definitely have focused more on writing and recording than trying to get abroad. But the reason was because we never had any reliable transport. It's too fucking
It's up
expensive.
until now that we can finally like travel and have a means to do it. Before we just had shitty vehicles.
And we all lived in different fucking
Yeah.
areas. He lived like 2 hours north of Omaha. He lived in Beatrice, which is an hour
I
south.
don't know how we did it.
He lived in Lincoln. He lived in Lincoln, and I lived in fucking Kansas still. And they were coming down, and we saw him once every 2 fucking months.
Yeah.
And we just recorded and sent him recordings and tabs, and he'd come down. And he was like, Shit. He was basically a hireling at that point. But now we're fucking living together and fucking jamming all the time. It's much different. We're able to do
Everything's a lot easier now than it was like years ago. So that helps.
So you've been together for about 5 years, you said?
Closer to 6.
Almost 6, 5.5, more or less. But yeah, it's just taken us a while to kind of get out and play more and do things, but it's happening. So it's true.
What's the main inspiration for your music, would you say?
Hatred.
Hatred towards
Pure
mankind.
fucking hatred.
You know, like we're all normal people. We all go to our day jobs, and you know, bullshit happens in our life. It's a fucking roller coaster. But you know, instead of doing fucked up shit, you just fucking write death metal. And that's a good cathartic way of getting it out and playing it. And that's, I'd have to say, that's where the main inspiration comes. You know, we all like our respective favorite bands, you know, that influence us. But I'd say it's more based on that kind of feeling, I guess.
I also want to say my inspiration with this band, especially when I started it, was that I was so fucking sick of all these death metal bands with such fucking pussy musicians playing breakdowns and fucking just all this fucking
when we started
groove shit.
playing-
And I was like, I don't like death metal
When
groove.
we
I like
started
blast
playing-
beats, skate beats, double bass, and hyperblast.
There
I
was-
like,
there was no
this is the
bands
death
in
metal
our-
band that I'd like to fucking
No
listen
bands in our area at the time that were playing any
None
kind
in
of
our
death
area by
metal
any
at
fucking
all.
means.
And it was like when we started playing shows, it was always with like thrash bands, heavy metal bands, black metal bands, you know, like butt rock bands, you know. It wasn't with a whole lot of cool death metal bands like we're doing now. And we just wanted, that was our way of doing things differently, and it worked out the way that it did. We all have a different background musically, so we wrote it as essentially is just that.
So we all have completely different tastes, and I think that it makes it easier to write death metal that's more original because we're not trying to sound like anybody else, like it seems like a lot of bands are. Like there's so many copycats and just so much bullshit. And so, bands trying to sound like somebody else, and that's not what we're about. We're trying to sound like Garoted.
Do you have a CD out or a demo at this point? Or?
Quite a few, yeah. We put out a demo in 2009. Very rough, mediocre.
Garage band shit, like using the top of the fucking monitor's microphone recording.
It was pretty
rough. I don't even want you to fucking hear it. I'm glad it's unavailable as fuck. So was our first album. That was total shit too. Out of print, out of fucking sight.
there was the
That's
demo.
gonna be a gym someday.
Yeah, the demo, the first CD, the first album, which we did right away in 2010. We did that on CD. That's been long gone. And then we did an EP in 2011, Evil Personified.
Which we have a shit ton of. A lot of that.
And then we just
We
put
give them
out.
away if people beat me a beer check. It never fucking happens. So we have so many of them. It sucks.
And we just put out our second album. It's titled Visions of Death and Destruction. And it was kind of like in developmental hell for 3 years almost. But we finally put that out.
It took so long because we were deciding whether or not we were going to record with someone or not while we were recording or writing it. And then fucking we just ballsed up and said, fuck that shit. The guy who recorded our first album, his input sucked. We hated that motherfucker's input. And so it was like, we want nobody else's input. We want our own gear and we want to do it ourselves.
Why we like decided to be more self-sufficient when it came to writing, recording, doing everything ourselves. Even like all of our releases have been done ourselves. Like we self-release everything, and it was just until recently that we actually kind of put a name to it and started doing other releases too. So it's really crazy how it just kind of came to be, and we just need to get a CD vinyl version of it. That's really what's next.
All we have is tape right now. Sorry for people that don't like tapes, but fuck it, tapes are cool as shit.
I feel like the people,
Right?
Yes!
Laugh. That's cool. I love tapes. Oh, you can't listen to it? Well, we're too fucking creek for you then. We don't even get download links with that fucking tape. It's like, no, get a tape player or don't listen to it.
Do you guys have wider touring plans in the future? Or?
We hope.
Yeah.
definitely with playing out of state more, we're gonna play a lot less.
We're gonna keep trying to do these like one day out of state fucking shows and like just like playing for new people and shit because we've like totally got our name out in goddamn Kansas, Missouri, and fucking Nebraska. It's just like, let's play somewhere else for once. This fucking area
I feel like
sucks
it's pretty
dick.
tapped out. I mean,
It really is,
there's
especially
great
since it's
bands there.
unappreciated.
There's great
The only
bands
thing people
there,
see about
but-
us is like, oh, they're fast. You're just like, yo, you've never heard Deicide before, you've never heard Vile Remains before, you don't fucking get it. You don't. Nobody around there, I think. Not very many.
Again, they're trying to sound like somebody. Trues. Trying to emulate
Yeah.
another band.
That.
There's not death metal's pretty dry in Nebraska. Definitely.
I mean, it's cool because like there's really no other bands there that do it. So like we're the ones there for death metal. But on the other hand, it's like
It gets overshadowed by deathcore.
there's a lot of, it's a smaller area, and there's a lot of bands, but a lot of bands that aren't really playing.
We've been embraced by a different scene. And they really like playing with us and they enjoy our music, but they're more like hardcore and grind and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But on the same hand, I think it's pretty cool that everyone is accepting it because a lot of bigger areas are more isolated like that. The scenes are pretty split up. So for Nebraska to be pretty tight knit like that, I think it's better than nothing. And
Yeah.
there is a live music scene there, and they respect any band that comes through. So it's for what it's worth.
Well, so are you guys staying here tonight or?
We're gonna drink our dicks off tonight.
Yeah, nice.
There's no way.
I'm gonna try and get alcohol poisoning in this state too.
Nice. Well,
You have to have dreams.
we do have a higher elevation. It makes it a little easier.
I've gotten drunk here before. The elevation does nothing to my fucking liver.
Zach, what do you have to say about all of this?
Yeah, Zach, anything? Are you having fun tonight at least? How drunk are you gonna get? You're gonna get so drunk that you fuck the fattest, ugliest, nastiest slut in the world. Garoted, yes. Any of you fat whores out there, get your ass to fucking bushwhackers. This man needs some nasty ass pussy.
Well, hopefully this will just be the first of many Colorado adventures for you guys. You guys were fantastic.
Adventure.
Thanks. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Loved it. It's our pleasure to come here.
Yeah,
It's great.
excellent. It's a great show.
Book us and we will come.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with us this evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fuck yeah!
We'll definitely be in touch.
Yeah.
Garoted.
Death metal.